office while I'm at home. So usually I would wait to go to work to talk to you guys because that's where I get the most peace. But today I have been woke up, and so I'm heated up. I realize that I do my best when I'm speaking from just feeling it naturally rather than trying to hold it in, wait to get to work, and then try to rehearse it and come on here, look all pretty and whatnot, which I told you guys, I'm not here to look pretty. I'm not here to be your beauty person. I'm not here to teach y'all makeup. I'm just not here for that. I want y'all to see who I really am as a person. And right now, if y'all watched my first couple of videos, that y'all know I am a mom, I'm a wife, I work a full-time job, a corporate job. I'm also trying to build my own businesses, build my own brand. So I don't have time to make sure I get cute before I get on here because shoot, I think it's about to be 2:00 now and I got somewhere to be by 4. So, you know, time is a ticking. I don't got time for all that. So anyways, I'm just here because first, my auntie called me, waking me up, and we got on a good conversation. Y'all, I'm just talking with my hands. I'm sorry. That's what I do. So, my aunt wakes me up, and we get on a really good conversation and whatnot, and then she cuts me off, and she's like, I gotta go. I'm busy, because, you know, everybody's busy. So I'll be like, okay. I'll be going, be in a good talk, and it's like, okay, I gotta go. So, in the midst of her getting off the phone with me, I go to try to help my son do life skills because I homeschool him, and life skills is one of our core, learning, you know. And I see that my dad had sent me a reel, and the reel that he sent me was about little King and his dad getting into it. Well, I heard a little bit about this on the radio last night. I really don't look into celebrities' life. I honestly got too much going on with myself to look into their life until I feel like they might be going through the same thing that I'm going through, and maybe I can relate to them. I don't care. Me and my family have enough going on. Shoot, my sister and my nephew just got into it just the other day. So why do I care to go look at T.I. and his son getting into it? You know, it's life. It happens. Parents are going to get into it with their kids. Kids are going to get into it with their parents. I mean, it's just the cycle of life. But when are we going to try to figure out what's really going on instead of saying that these kids are being disrespectful and whatnot? So anyways, my dad sends me this reel, and it's a man who is probably in his 40s or so. I don't know. I would call him a baby boomer. I believe. No, sorry. Not a baby boomer. I would call him a Gen X. He's in his 40s and 50s. Late 40s, 50s. So, he's pretty much just going on King and just talking about how King is disrespectful and he must forget who his daddy is, and his dad's a millionaire and he lives in a mansion and he needs to have this respect because his dad has gave him all this life and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sorry. That I started shaking my head immediately. And I'm like, I know my dad probably sent this to me to try to prove a point, but what he does not understand is I really don't see a lot of things the way that he sees them. So before he tries to send something to me to try to prove a point, he needs to understand that this daughter does her research and I have my own opinion. And in this phase of life, I can't be too easily manipulated. So just because you send me a reel and think that I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I agree. No, you're wrong. So I call him after I watch it. And I'm like, I don't understand what your point was, but I'm just telling you that I don't agree with that man. And so he all of a sudden goes off to be like, well, you need to agree with him because he's right. And I'm like, well, that's your opinion. I don't feel like he's right. No, that's not an opinion. So then I explained to him that he needs to understand what an opinion is, because an opinion is something that everybody is entitled to, but I do not have to believe what he believes, and I don't. And so he keeps going on to say what he has to say, but he's not understanding that before we proceed, he needs to understand that I have an opinion. Watch the video. I know what happened, and I understand what King did. I see what T.I. and them did as parents, but what I'm seeing is a kid who is spiraling out of control. He's been spiraling out of control. Dang, everybody's calling me. This is why I need another device, because everybody's calling me. Everybody interrupts me, but this same millionaire is the same man who sat there and told the whole world that his daughter lost her virginity, whatever he did, y'all know what he did. Like I said, I don't care to get into it too much, so my facts might not be all the way right, but y'all know what I'm talking about. T.I. and his daughter Deja, he did something that did not seem right, and a lot of people did not agree with. So now, why are we forgetting that this is the same man who's raising King? Why do we feel like King may not have went through something that is causing him this trauma to spiral out of control? Sometimes kids aren't being disrespectful because they're trying to be bad or rebels. Sometimes it's because nobody is hearing them. And because nobody's hearing them, they can't get the help that they're needing because they don't even understand that the help that they're needing. But we allow our kids to go out into these public systems and deal with this public world for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and we don't know what's going on with our kids. They're getting bullied. They're getting influenced. They're getting pressured. It's things that they can't even control. Sometimes it's the way they look. It's the way they dress. The things they can't afford. The color of their skin. The color of their hair. All these things that they can't control. So then they go home and try to control it with things like bleach or something that's literally going to kill them. We have to realize that not even at school, but our kids also go hang out with our friends. And I want all of you adults to remember that at some point in time in your life, something happened that your parents didn't know of. And at that point in time, you probably started spiraling out of control, but you don't even realize that you spiraled out of control because you don't know what was going on with you, because you had a whole bunch of people around you telling you that you were being disrespectful or you were just acting out. And there was no reason for you to be acting out because you have all this glitz and glamour. You're blessed. You have great parents. But the great parents wouldn't listen to you and what you were going through. They're not asking you how your friends are treating you or how you're feeling about school or has anybody touched on you when you went and stayed at somebody. Whatever it is, parents aren't asking their kids what they're going through in these 8 hours, 5 days a week, or maybe even 7 days a week. However many days or hours out of the week that you're sending your kids off to be with somebody else, you don't know what's going on. I have my own story. My mom don't know a lot of things about what happened to me. And that's why I'm trying to use this channel to open up, because nobody wants to listen to me. By the end of me and my dad's conversation, guess what? We hung up and nobody got to nothing because I expressed myself the same way I'm expressing myself to you guys, but he was not ready to hear it. That's where he got to, you kids these days, y'all need to do this and y'all need to do that. And I'm just like, no, y'all need to take accountability. That is the word of the day, is accountability. Don't sit there and be talking about, I did this to my kids, I did that, or I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. But yet you think you about to have a picture perfect kid in a world that's not picture perfect. Make it make sense. My husband's sitting here probably calling the other line. Hold on. All right, I'm sorry. But yeah, so we're sitting here teaching our kids to be perfect in a world that's not perfect. Teaching our kids to be kind, but we're not teaching them how to act when people aren't going to be kind to them. Teaching our kids not to be a bully, but not teaching them how to act when people are going to bully them. Or we're sometimes not even teaching them that they have to respect people. But then we're sending them out in a world where if they don't respect somebody, they're not going to get the same outcome as when they disrespected you as a parent. These parents, they don't set us up for what we need in this life. And then they expect for us not to go crazy when this life throws all the stress at us. And when the brain goes under too much stress, it's called chemical imbalance. Everybody has it. Everybody. And when the brain goes through these stresses, the brain starts doing crazy, weird things. Nobody really knows what the live brain does, because as far as scientists and doctors and things, because they never researched it. And honestly, a lot of professions, if it's not something they're getting paid to do, they're not going to do it. But for me, I'm that person who's going to research something because this is my body and I want to know. I don't trust nobody to tell me what's going on with me. I research everything. I write down my symptoms. I look at how long it's been going on. I match it up. If I'm experiencing maybe 1 out of 2 of the things that they're saying, or it's only happened one day and they say it usually happens for a week or so, then that might not be for me. But if I can literally check off every single thing that I'm reading, then I already know what's going on. And so I go to the doctor and I tell them, well, I already did the work. I just want you to tell me you agree and then give me what I need. And obviously that's going to be medication. Well, I started taking this medication for my anxiety, and when I started taking it, I started feeling calmer. And that's when I started realizing, okay, well, maybe I really do have anxiety. Never knew what anxiety was, never been taught that I had anxiety, just nothing. I've just always known that some of my family members might have a mental disorder, causing them to have to be on medication. But there are certain things that they're doing that maybe I have not realized I'm doing, so I'm just going to call it anxiety. Y'all, these things, y'all got to do y'all research. Y'all really have to do your research, because that's what I'm getting into. That's for a whole nother day, whole nother video. But this video right here, when it comes to King and his parents, I believe that little boy is going through some things. And all he keeps hearing is, your parents set you up. Your parents did this. Your parents did that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the environment. It doesn't matter what you have been given in life. If you don't feel whole as a human, you don't feel whole. Can't nobody give you amount of materialistic things, or a parent who's a millionaire. Like, okay, I got a parent who's an entrepreneur that won't teach me how to be an entrepreneur. What's the point? Like, I just want y'all to realize that this same man that y'all literally just grilled a few years ago for putting his daughter's personal life out to the public is the same man that y'all literally saying that he raised King right, and King shouldn't be acting out because he has everything he needs. No, that little boy is going through something, and it might not have nothing to do with his parents. It might not have nothing to do with T.I. or Tiny. It might have everything to do with what's going on outside of that household that he's been dealing with, but he can't even come home and talk to the people that he thinks he can trust the most, because they're not hearing him. They're not believing him. And that makes a kid wallow out. That makes a kid be a rebel. And now you're being disrespectful. Now you got the whole world telling you how you need to do and what you need to do, how you need to act. And come on now, that would make a person go crazy. All I heard was a kid in distress on that video. And he's like, get away from me. Y'all not listening to me. I'm standing on business. Yes, he's standing on business, that mental business. Because that mental business is everything. But all the people, 90% of the people around you will try to tell you you're crazy and you're going through something and you need to be on medicine and everything else, because that medicine will calm you down and make you stop saying things that don't need to be said. It's called Pandora's box. Mental crazy people say things without care. When they're not medicated, they say things, but people say, oh, they gonna call some. Yeah, they definitely gonna call some, because they know the truth. They know what's really up. Their brains are now telling them that they having an awakening. And man, this stuff is real. Like, I don't agree at all with what that little boy's going through, and I feel for him, and I'm praying for him. I'm not praying for T.I. and them. Okay, fine. I'll pray for them. I'm gonna pray for them to be able to help their child. Because that little boy needs some help. He does. And he don't need help as far as thrown in a mental home or taking medication or whatever. No, he needs self-care. He needs to be in an isolated place where his mind and his thoughts can just rest. And he can think straight, clearly, without everybody coming for him. He needs to be groomed. He needs to, have his dad use that money to maybe send him for a self-care day, have a massage, just do something that makes him feel good as a person and take him from everything that life is throwing at him. That's what his dad can do. And that's what I'm praying for T.I. and Tiny, is that they can figure out what's going on with their son so that it can get better. Because that little boy is definitely going through something. Can't nobody tell me that he's not. I'm not listening to nobody. Only person that can tell me that he's not is King. And even if King tell me that with his own mouth, I'm like, little boy, I need you to do your research, because you're definitely going through something. Because I done been there. I'm not talking this because I went to school for it or because I done researched anything. Those are a couple things in the background. But the real reason why I'm talking about it is because I done went through it. I'm dealing with a kid who's going through it. So after you keep on dealing with it and you keep seeing that people are going through this thing, when are y'all going to believe the experiences over the research that man-made created, that America created? Y'all go to Africa and ask them what bipolar is. Y'all go to India or whatever and ask them what high blood pressure is, or anxiety, depression, any of that stuff. They're not going to know, because they don't move off of those things. That's something that America did. And America is now giving us this stuff and now making it seem like if you take this medication, you're going to be better, when really the medication, it speeds things along, but eventually you start feeling better. So that's the placebo, because you start feeling better for a little bit. It doesn't matter what side effects you have, whether your body's locking up on you, maybe you're feeling like a robot, you feel like you're not in control. It doesn't matter of all those things, because at the end of the day, your mind's better. You're able to think clearly. You're not going crazy, and people's not asking you, are you on drugs or are you nuts, when you know you're not. Now you're better, so you're wanting to take this medication. And this medication is really controlling you. It's really controlling you. So I learned to control my medication. I learned to make my medication work for me, and I'm not working for my medication. Like, I'm not doing that. I know how much to take, when to take it. I know the symptoms, all that, because nobody's about to make me feel like a robot and make me shut up. And that's why I'm going to say I'm scared, because if I die, y'all know it's because I started telling y'all the truth. Because everybody who has an awakening and they start telling the truth, something ends up happening to them before they can even do it. So I hope I even get this video out. I hope that I'm still here for my kids when this video does come out. Because I'm telling y'all, anytime somebody speaks the truth, something happens. So I am a little scared, because I'm like, I'm not ready to go just yet. You know, like, don't take me down, Lord. Like, I want to raise my kids. Like, and I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I really am, like, scared to die. Like, I don't want to die just yet. But I really do want to speak what I know before I go. Like, I really do. Because I'm finding out some stuff, and there's people who's trying to stop me, whether it's my kids trying to call, I got my dad calling me, or somebody else calling me, or my kids are trying to run into the door so I can't make this video. It's little things that's trying to stop me from making this video and getting it out there, but me making this video is the first step. So if anything happens to me before I publish this video, I hope somebody can find it and get it in my phone or whatnot. I need to make sure my son knows my new password, because I have changed it. But yeah, y'all, stay tuned for real, because that's what we about to be doing here. I told y'all, I'm about to be a lifestyle influencer, and mental health is a lifestyle thing. So I'm learning it, and I'm giving it to y'all for free. So bye.